Hey guys, we're going to be going for another clear on Dark Alexander. We're not going to be using Ibara or Yoshi. Those are the two units that I get by far the most comments of what do I do if I don't have Ibara or Yoshi. So we're going to try it with this team. Just like Koku Ryu, not having Ibara is a pretty big handicap on Alexander. She's currently probably the strongest unit in the game. Tifa, I guess, or maybe just tied with Tifa, and obviously you would use Ibara and Tifa here if you have her. If you don't have her, we're going to try this team instead, and we're going to see how we do. So we're going to build it on the Water Element team, and we're going to, the Espers aren't super important. We're not using any skills from an Esper, so just equip the Espers to your best DPS. So we're going to be doing 20% or better light and dark resist in the base form for everyone, because turn 1 we're only using an 80% buff. On turn 2, we're going to be doing a 100% buff. So units that are going to be shifting later in the fight, they can keep 0% to dark and light element, because we're using 100% buff. But for turn 1, you want to have 20 to everyone. Base form for Sakura, doesn't really matter. We're just using the resistance gear. Shift form, she's going to be chaining her, I forget what it's called. It's called Soul Blade. We're going to chain Soul Blade, which is her physical scaling skill. So she's using physical killers. And she's using the anniversary card. If I had a better card for her, that'd be great, but we don't. And then she's got at least 0 to light and dark in her shift form. She's got 100 machine killer and some magic. Elena is using some better gear. She's got my second best gear. She's using a lot of machine killer. She's using her own card, 20 or better to light and dark resist. She's got 250 machine killer. Eileen is going to be our Bushido Freedom unit. Now, her base form is intentionally kept low attack power, and we gave her a fire weapon, a weak fire weapon, because we're going to be buffing fire resist on turn 1. So on turn 2, this will make the Bushido Freedom deal much lower damage to our team. And her shift form is going to be geared for LB damage. We're going to be doing her LB on the kill turn. We're also going to be stealing her killer buff by 200% to physical machine killer. So she's got some machine killer. She's got the anniversary card and at least 0 resist in the base in the shift form. And yeah, she's got 130 LB, 250 machine killer. She does have some natural machine killer, which is kind of nice. Oh, by the way, she her LB is naturally Earth element, so we're going to be imperiling Earth with her own imperil. By the way. Zahn, nothing much to say. He's just got passive provoke evasion with some resist gear. Never changes. Lauren is going to be doing Rage Beast Roar. That's going to be dispelling the imbue off of Sakura. Hopefully by now you guys know that trick. I'm not really going to go over it every time I use it. Her shift form is going to be chaining Stardust Ray. She's got, I built her a double hand. It's probably a little bit more damage that way. So double hand, a little bit of machine killer. A leftover card, and she's got only 100 machine killer, and yeah, a little bit on the low end, but whatever. Tifa base form doesn't really matter. We're not really using it. Just make sure it has at least 20 light and dark. Shift form, we're going to be doing my best gear. She is a really high damage capper. Machine killer, LB damage, a good card. And she's on Alexander. Make sure you keep her out of the negative for light and dark resist. Alexander does penalize dark resist. So we gave Tifa the keeping back the dark materia to fix that. Okay. Oh, and Tifa, the stats. People always ask me, you didn't show the stats. Oh, not this form. Shift form, we've got 275 machine, 205 LB. Yeah, like I mentioned, she's wearing my best possible gear. Okay. So we're going to try it without Ibara. May work, may not, I don't know. I don't want to dump a ton of energy on this fight over and over and over again, trying for the perfect score. This is just going to be what I can do. Alright, so Lauren is going to turn 1. We're going to Devotion, Shield Crusher, and then Unhesitating Will. That's going to break the boss. Sakura is going to resist buff on turn 1. We're going to, let's see, Eclipse Ward, and then use Candy Treat. Don't use her Magnus yet. Eileen is going to use her Magnus on the other hand. This is going to fill LB gauge. Then we're going to guard everyone else. So Lauren's LB is good to go because of Eileen's Magnus. We're going to be doing LB with Lauren on turn 3. Alright. We're going to get imperiled here. The boss blinds and silences as well. I forgot to mention to make sure people that are vulnerable to blind or silence are immune to it, if it matters. So now we're going to Bushido Freedom our own team. To get rid of that imperil. Now, because Eileen is using a fire weapon and we buffed fire resist on turn 1, this is going to deal low damage. Or no damage. That works too. Alright, so now we're going to do the Sakura trick. We're going to dual cast Candy Master. We're going to start with Will-O-the-Wisp on herself, and then her Candy Feast Magnus. And then Lauren is going to... Not that. Lauren is going to Rage Beast Roar on Sakura. So we're going to click Sakura, and then right away after Sakura, we're going to click Lauren. So Sakura Lauren. And that will boost her modifiers, but get rid of that imbue we didn't want. Alright, so now everyone else is going to start powering up. We're going to Aqua Overflow. We're going to Stella and Polaris with Elena. Tifa is going to Wave Spike. That's going to boost her water damage for later. And Zahn is going to double up. We're going to Critical on Elena for the big attack magic buff, and then Elemental on Elena for the water imbue. Bunch of attacks, we're immune to it all, whatever. Alright, we're going to go ahead and shift 4 of our units. We're going to shift Sakura. And I'm going to exit out of the menu after each shift, but it's just going to glitch otherwise because Gumi can't be bothered to fix this bug. Irritates me. But if you shift and then exit the menu, it won't glitch out on you. Alright, so we're going to LB with Elena. We're going to LB with Lauren in her shifted form. Make sure you don't shift Elena, though, by the way. Elena is staying in base form always. Not entirely sure why Gumi made her shift form worse, but it did. Alright, Lauren's going to LB. Tifa is going to just Concentration Magnus and then Concentration again. Okay, so Eileen is going to, in this order, do Mantle Driver, Pile Driver, and Solid Breaker. That's going to imperil the boss by 120. It's going to give her a 200% Machine Killer buff and boost her LB damage for next turn. Alright, Sakura can triple. We're going to use both her cooldowns, Dark Edge, Malefic, and then, you know, whatever. Just something that doesn't hit the boss. Eclipse Ward is fine. Alright, Zahn is going to double up here. We're going to steal the killer from Eileen, and then we're going to share it with everyone. Yeah, machine. Okay. And we're going to chain next turn. We're going to be triple casting Bolting Strike with Sakura and Elena. They're going to chain together. We're going to triple cast Stardust Ray with Zahn and Lauren. They're going to chain together. Then Tifa is going to cap that LB, or that chain with her LB, and then Eileen will cap it with her shifted LB. Alright. So Zahn's going to triple Stardust Ray. Lauren's going to triple Stardust Ray. Tifa's going to cap LB. Eileen's going to cap LB. Elena is going to triple Gemini Blade. Now, Sakura technically could quad cast her skill, but because overlaying chains that are mismatched is really tricky and really, like, specific, I'm going to not do that. I'm just going to triple cast Soul Blade. But if you feel like bothering with really wonky chainings, you can quad cast Sakura and change the timing of all the chains and overlay it so that all 4 of her casts go off. It's complicated and a headache, and it'll increase her damage slightly, but we're not going to bother with that. On the other hand, Eileen's LB is a pretty long chain. It's a pretty long LB. It fits into a Stardust Ray triple cast chain, but I recommend you practice on the training dummy to get Eileen's timing down before you come into a real attempt. So we're going to start sending these Stardust Ray units, then we're going to send the Bolting Strikers, and then Eileen. Once that chain builds up a little bit, we're going to go ahead and send Tifa. And if we did it right, it should go to 121. We did. And we'll see the damage. And we'll see, hopefully, 2.14. I'm not sure we're going to, though. 1.81. Oof. Little low. Little low. But whatever. It's fine. So, yeah, not having Ibara makes it complicated. Another option could be Neovision's Madame Adele and doing something like a turn 12 or 13 clear, or you just power Madame Adele all the way to the max, and then go for it. I think you can stall on the boss as long as you want. Just keep dispelling that Imperil every time he puts it up, and recast the fire and the light and dark resist buff. I don't have Adele, so I can't test that. But if you don't have Ibara, I'm not sure who's like the best option for DPS other than maybe Madame Adele at max power. And I don't have her, so I can't do it. Okay, so there was hopefully an option for those of you that don't have Ibara or Yoshi. Anyway, see you next time.